Let's move on to honoring people who have made a planned gift. What are some of the ways that you recommend churches honor and tell those stories?
It's a great question. We at Resurrection Foundation, we had something called the Resurrection Foundation Legacy Society. And at the church I serve at now, it's called the Combs Legacy. And so it's an opportunity when people filled out their donor declaration to let us know if they'd like to be a member of the Legacy Society. And as a part of the Legacy Society, we simply said thank you multiple times throughout the year in really special ways. We often would host 1 to 2 events throughout the year at Resurrection Foundation for folks specifically who are either a member of the Legacy Society already or for persons who are considering becoming a member of the Legacy Society by creating their own planned gift. So it was a cultivation event and a stewardship event together. But we would have events like a concert, volunteers. This is all volunteer. We would have volunteers from the choir who would provide a concert, and we would have desserts at that concert, and then we'd have stories of impact shared between the songs. Another fun event that we've done here in Kansas City a few times while I was serving there, we would take day trips to museums in the city, and then we'd go have lunch together at one of our resurrection locations. But I mean, our scale can be scaled to the size of every church. You could take 10 people to a museum, you could take 5 people to a museum, or you could take 50. It doesn't matter. But during that lunch, after we did our special event together, we would again share stories of impact and share stories of why someone would want to become a person who creates a planned gift to support the church. Okay. Next question. Do we honor people by name? So at the Resurrection Foundation, they at Resurrection Church, they actually have a policy not to put names on anything. And so at Resurrection Foundation, we didn't put names anywhere. We didn't list names, we didn't include names. We cared for those names at the Resurrection Foundation. We invited those donors to be a part of things. The church I'm serving at now, the Combs Legacy, we actually have a beautiful sculpture hanging on the wall, and it's called a tree of life sculpture. And on the leaves, we have the names of persons who have created a planned gift. I could go either way. Whatever you choose to do, you just have to be careful. If you're going to do anything with names on it, you have to make sure the donors want their name included on it. You must ask them in writing to have their name included. And if they say no, you need to honor that. And you need to make sure you don't miss any donors. And so that's really important. I do caution a lot of care if you ever choose to put names on anything, that you make sure to do so with great care and great methodical steps to get there. Quarterly Legacy Society email updates. So, for those members who join the Legacy Society, we would send out a beautiful update on the quarterly so that they could learn more about how their future generosity could make a difference. Again, telling story after story after story about how legacy giving is making a difference today can inspire others to be generous. And so, those quarterly emails were just storytelling about how to be generous through the Resurrection Foundation with generosity that had already been given. And then throughout the year, we did holiday touch points. So this is not anything that anyone isn't already doing, but we would do email like cards around Christmas and Thanksgiving, just again letting our donors know how much they matter and how much their generosity is going to create an impact for God through the church. But I want to give you a little secret tip. And that is to not only choose the big holidays. I mean, everybody's thinking about being thankful around Thanksgiving, but what about choosing like around like Valentine's Day or All Saints Day or some of the holidays that maybe we aren't being inundated with thank you notes or with kind of Christmas cards or New Year's Day cards. But think about some of those holidays you might be able to come alongside your donors and just simply remind them how much you appreciate and love and cherish them. and their generosity. And then once a year, we created an impact report. And this was just, again, an opportunity to tell stories. Ours were pretty polished because I was a full time employee, but they don't have to be polished. Again, it's about what you're saying, not about how slick it might look. And so having a newsletter come out that's specifically talking about legacy giving and creating a legacy, it can really help. And then it keeps people engaged with the church. Joe and I both want to make sure you know this, that if a donor makes the decision to create a planned gift to support your church, they will become more generous in all ways. This is a true fact. Joe has statistics, and I can tell you this from what I've met donors and seen them do, is that when a donor decides, oh, I'm going to invest my estate in the incredible ministry of my church or my parish, that is like an incredible yes for them to become more generous in all ways. Maybe that's with their time, perhaps it's with their other financial treasures, but it is a step up in a way that someone says, "This church matters, and this church matters especially to me." And so don't be afraid to engage plan giving thinking they might not give to the annual campaign or they might not consider the capital campaign. Not true. They actually will become more generous in all ways. Right, Joe?
Absolutely, absolutely. It's one of the best ways to grow giving in the church is to invite somebody to invest more deeply. We see that with capital campaigns. We see that especially with planned gifts. People their money follows their heart, and when they invest their heart, their money will come. Which really pivots to uh, all this honoring that Ashley was talking about is also cultivation because these givers will, the more deeply invested they get, the more they understand the impact that their gifts are making, the more they hang out with other people who are excited about this. One, they become apostles for you and they tell their friends. And
Mhm.
two, these gifts grow. And so this is cultivation that is happening. You notice these are the existing uh, uh, donors to a planned gift, and a lot of churches, well, once I get the planned gift, they never are heard from again. And one of the things that really is important is how many times people will change their will as they get into older age. So you are protecting the gift you have.
Mhm.
Secondly, you are cultivating passion around it. And what will also happen is they'll tell these stories to their heirs who will be excited that their parents made this gift. And so getting the gift is really the beginning of a good planned giving policy.